So, for example, with a track like Township Deluxe,
Yes.
um, I knew the first person I had to go to was BlakLez, right?
Dope.
He's the first person I approached for the song. Now, him and I met in Cape Town while we were working on a project for Kanye Mavi.
Okay.
And let me tell you this embarrassing story. I knew who BlakLez was, but I didn't know what he looked like.
What do you look like?
Yeah.
So
we're
how
in
did that go
studio.
down?
So we're in studio and like, we're working and he's like, "Yo, okay, do you make beats?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Play me some of your stuff." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." Pull up some of my beats, play them. Everyone like, shows love to the beats. And he's like, "Let me play you one of my tracks." So I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I want to hear what your stuff is about." And he goes onto my YouTube and he types in BlakLez featuring Casper Nyovest. And I was like, oh my
Oh.
goodness. So yeah, very, very embarrassing story. I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. I know the song,
Yeah, sure,
trying to
yeah.
play it cool." So we had a really good session in the studio and parted ways with each other's like details, like phone
Yeah.
number, blah blah blah. And the parting understanding was that we'll work in future. That was the idea, right? So when I had the instrumental for Township Deluxe, I was like, "This is it." Ringed him up, sent him the song, and what he sent back to me was like perfect, right? Because as much as I knew Township Deluxe sounded really good, I didn't want it necessarily to become a club track.
Okay.
I wanted it to be something that's for the streets more so
Street
than
anthem
for the
type.
clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I think. That's 100% what BlakLez did with that opening verse. Like he kept it super straight, and then like I just kind of follow through with it. So I'm like, okay, who would be nice next to BlakLez from a point of view of like lyrically they have to bring it. Les gave us some of the Sipitori reps, so I need someone who's got that like local flair, that like the knack flair. Who's the next person I can put next to him? Now Les was very like smooth with what he did on the track. So I was like, oh snap, who would actually sound really cool next to him? I should hit up Maglera. So I hit up Maglera and I was like, hey bruh, my pitch was like, who do you think would sound good on this song? Put me onto someone that you know. And then he was like, I'll give you a hook in a verse. I was like, there we go.
Yes.
Exactly what I needed. And then Township Deluxe was actually co-produced by Airdee.
Yes.
And I said to him, like, look, we share the song. It's both of our tracks. Whether it's released on my side or his side, it's still, a track that we both are part of. So who do you want to bring onto the song? And he said Kid X. And I was like, actually, that's not a bad choice. So he brought in the Kid X feature. And then with Kaygizm, that happened randomly. I literally put out a tweet. That said, looking for a male singer who can put some soul onto a hook for me.
You were literally just saying his name, really, without knowing. You were just saying his name.
And now Maglera mentioned to me when we worked, he was like, yo, you should get on the song. You should get KG on the song. And I was like, it feels so far away, but who knows? Maybe it'll happen, right? And then I looked at my phone and I saw like, KG tweeted at me like, yo, hit me up. And I was like, okay, it's probably like some like spam account acting like they, him or whatever. And then I clicked on the account and I scrolled through it. And I was like, yo, this is actually him.
Actually is him.
It's him. And then like 20 minutes later, we were talking to each other on WhatsApp. I sent him the song. And I mean, he's an incredible person.
Yes, he is. Love him.
Lovely. So, he brought like that. I said to someone, like, I got so over all the rappers on the track. I just needed some soul. And he brought exactly that, he brought exactly that. And yeah, like that's the process. It's kind of like, okay, this is who I want to start with.
Okay.
Yeah, they sent me something nice. What's the next puzzle piece going to be? Which is the next person I'm going to approach? So it's just trusting in your ear as a producer to know which voices would sound good on the music, and that comes from just consuming a lot of music and trusting in yourself and that your ear for it is good, and just having a network with artists that you have good relationships with. So if I need to be like, hey Azizzar, can I get a verse from you, you're not gonna
maybe
turn me
not
down.
from me, but I'll talk all day. I'll talk for you whenever you need it.
So yeah, it's just having like good relationships with people, and then trusting in your ear as an artist or a producer that you'll make the right creative calls at the end of the day.